Where are we at? Oh, camera two. Welcome back to the Graybeard Podcast. I am Jim, and thank you for stopping in. If you didn't catch the live, no big deal. You can always catch it back here on YouTube, which I appreciate. If you like the show, go ahead and give me a like and a follow and a subscribe and all the good things that come with, you coming and hanging out with me. So, tonight I'm flying solo, not copyrighted because that belongs to someone else that we all know. But, yes, I am uno. I am solo. So, I had a lot of things that I wrote down that I would like to talk about. But I asked everyone on Instagram that followed me on both my photography page and the podcast page if you could just drop me a little question if you're interested in finding out anything about me, whatever it may be. I'm happy to be transparent. As I said in the last little installment of a little 2-minute videos that I've been doing every Sunday, I want to be more transparent. It's been brought to my attention more than once that I keep things very close to the vest, very close to the chest, whatever you want to say. Close to the vest, the chest. I don't know which one it is. But I want to address some things that, some common questions first. And I don't know how long this is going to last. Plus, not to mention my ADHD is going to have me bouncing all over the place. So you'll have to bear with me on that. But let's see. Let's go to the notes first, shall we? So these are some of the common questions I get asked. What equipment do you use? Well, that could mean that's a broad question. I mean, there's so many components of camera gear that I use and audio gear that I use and lighting. There's just a lot. But we'll do a quick round robin. Oh, and I also have this other view that I thought you might find kind of interesting. See if we can get it to work. Bam, there it is. So we're going to go ahead and pull this wire on back here. This is the Rodecaster Pro that I use. This is the Mac. Whoa, everything's backwards. The Mac. My PC. I've got a Mac and a PC right next to each other. Oh, no. These are Godox. They're lantern soft boxes. They're just little globe lantern soft boxes. This is the EOS R5, and that is the RP. And I've got the Shure SM7Bs there for the two main, the me and the guest. And then over here, I've got the pod mic, which I've got numerous pod mics. They're just laying around all over the place in various, places all over. And then, of course, got to have coffee. And look, it's infinity. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. But yeah, that's a little behind the scenes. I think I could probably get it. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Not yet, anyways. We'll go back to that later. Yeah, I forgot to mention I do use the A10 Mini Pro. That's how I switch the cameras back and forth. So that's the equipment I use. The Rodecaster Pro is fantastic. If you don't know what do I got going on here? Okay. If you don't know what it is, if you're not sure what it is every podcaster's dream. It makes things so easy. I've used so many different interfaces, you name it. Focusrite Scarlett's, what else? Zoom. I've used a bunch of different interfaces, and this just is the one for me. It does everything I need it to do. It's got the 4 channels. It's got some the audio channel, the Bluetooth channel, the main chat channel. It's got all these sound effects preloaded. It records. it does everything. It's got an EQ that you can set perfectly to tune your voice. It's beautiful. I love it. The ATEM Mini Pro is basically the cameras run into this and then back into the Mac, which then goes into a program called Ecamm Live, and which you can't see. Dope. Anyways, so that's how, and you just set up your date and your time. You put all your information into Ecamm as far as your YouTube and all that good stuff, and you just hit go, baby, and it just rolls. It's important for me to have good audio, and I'm working on the video. I'm trying to make the video a little bit sharper, a little crisper, a little better for you guys. If you're just listening to the audio podcast, I just gave a little bit of a room tour there with the old cell phone. So if you can go on YouTube, if you want to look at it, you can take a look at it. I'm not going to give you my address. Excuse me. I just had a cup of coffee. I'm going to keep drinking this coffee all the way through this podcast. However, I will down it and chase it with some water. Say hi to Jim. That's my self-made pop, whatever you call them, Funko Pop. So that's a little bit of that. This is something that, and this is a general question that everyone asks. What have you been up to lately? What haven't I been up to? Well, let's talk about what I haven't been up to, and I will be honest with you, and I will be transparent with you. I have not been shooting a lot. Although I did take a job a couple weeks ago. I did a little family shoot. That was fun. I did go to a collab event, which was fun. It's Christmas themed up there right now. So if anybody has clients that want to do family photos with a Christmas theme, they've got beautiful backdrops, and you can't mess it up. I mean, you cannot mess those photos up. The place is so well lit, and just, it's amazing. And now they've got these little beautiful backdrops. You should definitely go and check them out. Get a membership. Tell them Jim sent you. I don't get anything, but tell them I sent you from the Graybeard Podcast. Maybe they'll give you a little 0.01% off of your membership fees. I shouldn't say that. I can't say that. Again, I don't affiliate monetarily with those guys. I just love them. They're my buddies. Cheers to that. Okay. Also, if you've been following my Instagram story, you'll know that I'm been racked with all this stuff that I'm trying to get going. I've tried to get contractors to come in here. I've called numerous people, and nobody wanted to answer. I finally got a hold of a group of guys, HD Home Repairs, which at some point, I don't know when, but I'm going to have them come in and sit down on the podcast. I may wait until all the repairs are done. See how I roll? That's how I do it. But yeah, that may be the goal. Once we get everything wrapped up, I'll do a little house tour on Instagram. We'll do MTV Crib style, except it's more like a Hobbit home. It's not a very big house, okay? But that has been a major stressor in my life. And they just finished my bathroom. There's a few little odds and ends that need to be buttoned up. But outside of that, everything's beautiful. It looks great. I'm super stoked. And it's like a huge stress. One ball of stress just came right off of my back. I don't know if you're a homeowner. If you've never been a homeowner, you maybe will never understand this. But this is the third home that I've owned. It's the first home that I've owned by myself. And I've talked about this on a previous podcast where it was just me. It was just audio. So if you're interested in listening to the audio, this is where the ADHD kicks in. I'm going to direct you to go to the audio page, which is you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. We're all over the place. iHeart Music or iHeart Radio. I don't even know what they all are. I have a list of everywhere that we upload our audio. So if you can't watch live and if you can't watch a full YouTube video, just go listen to it. It's simple as that. What's odd is that my YouTube numbers keep climbing and my audio keeps dropping. So I don't understand that at all. I thought the audio was easier for people to listen to, and because everybody's busy, they're busy with their lives. Not everybody has time to sit down and watch a full hour and a half to 2 hour podcast. The one I did with Russell just recently was what, 2.5 hours? Which, speaking of that, did you see my thumbnail? Russell shot that. So Scenic Photography. What's up? But yeah, there's just too much. There's not enough time in the day for people to sit down, and I get that. So those of you that do sit down and take the time to watch the YouTube, hey, I love you and I thank you so, so much. You have no idea what it means to me. But it would be awesome if you just go, even if you don't listen to it, just go and download it. That's it. That's all I need. I need downloads. Okay. So what have I been up to lately? That's pretty much just working my full-time job, trying to coordinate all this stuff, buying materials, just getting everything ready to go, and then having these guys here every day for like a week and a couple of days. I mean, it's been pretty hectic, but again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've got a lot more work to do in there. Outside of that, I've just been relaxing. I've been trying to focus on this. I've been trying to focus on my brain and what's in here. I've been battling with, I wouldn't call it a battle really. I haven't really thought or had the inclination to go shoot anything. I mean, honestly, I've talked to a couple people and I still want to do the shoot by the springs, but you know, the weather's getting colder now, so it may be something that we have to wait until spring or back in again into summer to go and do that. Now, it may be one of those things because the natural spring is like it stays consistent, same temperature year round, so the water actually may be warmer than the air temperature. With that being said, my goal is to have myself and a couple of photographers of my choosing, people that I know, people that I trust, and I don't want to go. Which again, that's a huge list. There's a lot of people that I know that are photographers, and there's a lot of people that I know and trust. However, I can only bring so many people. Okay, it's becoming a bit taxing because every time I go out there, you know, I have to like my buddy who lives in the neighborhood. That's how I get access, but he kind of like hooks me up over there, but he's got to walk from his house and take us over there because it's a bit out of the way. So again, if that's something you're interested in, you know, I am, again, a couple of photographers, myself, and a couple of models. I don't know. Russell and I talked about something on the last podcast with him, and you know, or we did. I don't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or we talked about it after the podcast. I can't remember. At any rate, we're going to figure out some kind of program, some kind of thing where when we all have time, we're going to schedule it, we're going to promote it, and I'll select a couple of people from either end, the photography world and the model world, to accompany us. And hopefully it'll be a fun day. I'll shoot BTS and everybody else will shoot photos. And because I mean, honestly, that's where my passion is starting to kind of fall. I never thought that I would say that, but it's true. I kind of like shooting behind the scenes a little more than photography. Now I will, like when I'm at Collab and there's, you know, 50 models in there, when I'm mused, not amused, but mused, and I see something, you know, like a pose or a certain look, what have you, that I want to shoot, then I will go and shoot that thing. Now, that sounds bad. I don't mean them like to say that people are things. I'm talking about the pose and the look. That is what I shoot. I don't really care to shoot people like I talked about, you know, photograph people. Sorry, I got to be very vigilant about what I say and the way I say it. But yes, you understand what I'm saying. I don't really care. I mean, I love people. and I'm working on not being so antisocial. But um, yeah, people expect things back too quick. Uh, the few that I've shot with, they've been very cool. Nobody's really bugged me about it. But in the past, I have dealt with that where it's like, hey, you get in the car and you turn the key to leave, and you get in text already. Hey, do you have those photos? And I get that you got to be fast and efficient. But I can tell you right now that that is one of my pet peeves, and I am not that guy. So, with that being said, let's see. What do I see for the future of my podcast? Now, Russell asked me this last week, and I didn't really have. I had a general answer. It was really broad. I didn't really get in detail. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing. I want to be able to have good conversations with people and meet people and interesting people, and sorry, I thought somebody popped in. It was just me. There's latency. Um, all those things I love. I love to sit down and cut it up with my friends and make new friends and just learn about people. I'm very inquisitive. I love to learn about people and their style, their process, all of those things. Because someone was interested in my style, my process at one point. I can't remember who it was, but I know that they're out there somewhere. But with that being said, I would love to. I mean, I'm always looking at spaces. I'm always looking at places. Those things cost money, and do I have a little bit? Yes. Is it for me? Absolutely. It's my personal use. It's not for business at all. Although I may write all this off. I mean, I do the podcast here. This is where I do all my photo editing. What do you guys think? Should I write it off? But yeah, I've been looking for a place. I don't ever want to take money from anyone. I will never make this podcast cost anyone that watches it or listens to it. I'll never make it cost money. It'll always be free. And I want to keep it that way, but I'd like if I could get sponsorships, which again, the numbers aren't quite there yet. We're getting there, but it's a slow process. Basically, I started my podcast all over again. Now let's talk about that brings me to actually rebranding. So I want to talk about the rebranding and the experience that I've had to put up with and deal with along the way. Not that I had such a hot thing before, but yeah, my numbers were different. They were a little better when it was just audio. And like I said, ever since I started doing the live streaming and the interviews, and I changed my everything, my logo, the name of the podcast, everything about it, the way it's formatted, I've completely changed everything. And did I see a drop off? You damn right I did. Make sure that's not in the way. Okay, it's not. But yeah, I of course I did. Fuck yeah, I saw a drop off. But what's weird, and that's like I just talked about, the weirdest thing is the fact that the YouTube numbers are growing constantly, but the audio page, flat. I'm probably getting 5, maybe 10 downloads per episode, audio wise, where I'm getting, and again, these YouTube numbers are like not that great, but they're great for me. When I get 100 download or views on my podcast on YouTube, and there's actual watch time to go with it, that's a big deal for me. And I really appreciate that. It's just like Instagram. Let's talk about that for just a second, and then we'll go back to rebranding, unless I decide I'm done with it. Instagram. I don't like it. No, it's one of the Instagram is one of those things. It's pretty much the only place I'm even uploading anything. I do upload to Facebook. I know that makes me old. Thanks, Zaire. Appreciate that. I am. Look at all the grays in the beard, and hence the name. But Instagram is easy. It's fast. It's for me. That's what I want out of a social media. I don't want all the rigmarole. I don't need text upon text. I like Twitter and whatever the little squiggly thing is from Instagram. I I don't need that. I don't like that. I just want to be able to put my photo up or my video or whatever it is that I'm putting up and just leave it. And ultimately, that's been my experience on social media here lately is set it and forget it. Like literally. I make the content, I upload the content, and I try not to even look at it again, at least for another 24 hours. Again, I'm trying to limit myself to 2 to 3 times a week on social media altogether. I just don't have time. I don't. It breaks my heart because I do love, like, literally everyone I follow for a reason. I've gone through my list of people that I follow to try and like relinquish some people and clean it up a little bit, but I love everybody on there. Why? I mean, it literally, I know almost every single one of those people at some form or fashion. I've either come in contact with them, hung out with them multiple times, worked with them, whatever the case may be. Sorry, that's my beard getting caught in the old grill here. But yeah, Instagram has been good for me. Could it be better? Sure, but it's a learning process, and quite frankly, and this is something I thought about earlier today. I just realized I had that ugly light on. This is something I thought about earlier today is that I don't want to have to buy followers and likes and shit like that. That doesn't interest me at all. If it's not organic to me, I don't want it. I don't want it. So I'm going to continue with the same model that I've always used, and I'm going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing, and it's either going to flip or flop. I've been watching a lot of home decorating HGTV style TV shows. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to switch cameras, right? Infinity. Oh, I'm going to hit my vape. Don't you worry. All right. So, oh my God, has it already been 24 minutes? I've been rambling for 24 minutes. Okay. So, what else do I want to talk about? Okay. I want to talk about Coffee with Jim. Have you seen it? Do you like it? Is it something you want to see more? Do you want to see more of that? Is that something that interests you? If so, what topics would you like me to talk about? Are there things that need to be addressed? Because I'll address them. Now, obviously, everything on that, whatever you want to call it, it's not a podcast. It's just a 2-minute thing that I do on Sundays, or I try to do it on Sundays and try to be consistent with it. But I don't know why. But my friend Russell did tell me that it reminded him of my old YouTube videos, which is kind of funny. And I may if we have time, I may try to pull up a YouTube video that I actually, while we're talking, I'll see if I can do that. He said it reminded him of my old videos, which, I used to work really hard on those videos. It was something that I put a lot of effort into. Now, I didn't know much. I didn't know much about anything. And to be honest with you, my very favorite is the very first episode, and I might start glitching out here because I'm using more bandwidth. Let's see. I need to upgrade my high-speed internet. For sure. It's not working for me right now. I think I'm getting like 7 up and like maybe 100 down, which is decent. It's not bad. What is going on, fella? Yeah, it's like slow dragging. Gray bearded Green Beret. Weird that my stuff doesn't come up right away. There she is. All right, so let's go down to videos, shall we? Let's. I'm going to go down to oldest. Let's click that. Oldest. I'm not sure if the audio is going to play through the through here or not, or if it's just going to play in the air. Let's see. Full screen, baby. Look at that. Okay, I can't take any more of that. It's pretty bad. But you get the idea. That was my very first video. I shot that on a Canon 60D in my kitchen. I had no microphone. It was just a camera. And honestly, I was kind of taken aback by the digital camera. This does make me sound old. It makes me age myself, whatever the fuck you want to say. But I told you before, and I've talked about this numerous times as well, that I started shooting on a fucking film camera. Pentax K1000. Go Google it. But yeah, and so I took a hiatus from photography for a while. Well, pretty much everything I love to do. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I took a break from that for quite a while, and then when I got back into it, everything was digital. It was DSLR, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And I found out that not only can you shoot great photos, you can shoot video. I was like, "What?" So I immediately sat down in my kitchen because that was the place with the best lighting. Whoa, stop it! And made a little video just introducing myself to the world. Welcome, hello world is what I think I titled it. I don't have that beanie anymore because I have daughters and they steal all my shit. But I digress. Yeah, it wasn't anything. And then all the rest of my videos were just silly, nonsensical. I mean, not nonsensical. I thought I had a message. I thought I had some things that I wanted to say. I would pick a topic and I would research it and I would talk about it. Now, one of the things that I like to do is to not script. It's almost like anytime I actually script something, everyone knows. I've been called out by my friends. They're like, "Dude, did you script that?" Sounded like it. Because I sound like I got a friggin' stick up my ass. Like, literally. I don't, but I sound like that, apparently. So, I don't like to do that. But sometimes it's required. And you just got to do a little acting. And I'm not good at that. I have a very flat affect. I look like I'm pissed off all the time. I have to work very hard, especially since I grew the beard. It's just one of those things that's like, you really got to try hard. You can't just, when you do that, that little shit smile, people don't respond to that. So at any rate, I hope you're enjoying the Coffee with Jims. So far, I've only been uploading them to Instagram and TikTok, which recently TikTok has been muting. The last 2 that I uploaded, it muted them both. That motherfucker. And I sent in a petition. It muted them because of copyright stuff, but I am using music from Epidemic Sound, which is all of that supposed to be copyright free, royalty free, what have you. Now, I did read somewhere that some of that music you may have to use attribution or what have you to make it copyright free, royalty free, basically. Because a lot of these artists do put their art out there, and they just want people to attribute them, to use their name, tell people where you got the music from, all that good stuff, so they can go and find them. And I don't have a problem with that. And that kind of like leads me into another topic, tagging your photographer. It's the easiest damn thing that you can do. It's literally the easiest thing that you can do. Tag your photographer. Somebody takes a great photo of you, you post it, tag them. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I know that a lot of you guys are getting ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I totally get that. So I don't want to take too much more of your time up, but I thought I would take this time to kind of tell you a little backstory about me, if you're interested in hearing it. Let me take a swig. This probably gets really annoying to the people just listening. I don't, I love you guys too, but I don't give a fuck. All right. So a little backstory on me. I was born on the winter of 77. Actually, I was. It was January 17th, 1977. So now you fuckers know my birth date. I better see a present on the 17th. Ha! Wait a minute. Where is it? Where the fuck is the laugh? I guess they got rid of the laugh. Weird. Anyways, so yeah, I was born, and it was like actually the 46 years ago, it snowed here in Jacksonville on my birthday. So I was a snow baby. And isn't that interesting? It's not really. So on and so forth. Let's just skip to the part where my mother and father, they divorced, and I was probably about 2.5, something like that. Maybe a little older. I can't, again, my memories, maybe I'm suppressing or repressing or whatever the fuck the word is. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of it, but, found out later on when I was a teenager that my dad was a photographer, so that was cool. And yeah, I'm a brother of two. I'm one of 3 siblings. I'm a brother, and then I've got 2 twin sisters, and they don't look alike. They're fraternal. That doesn't mean anything. I had a stepdad for about 10 years. It seemed more like 5 minutes, but I did learn some valuable lessons from that man. I learned how not to treat a lady or children. I learned how to tile floors and how to do plumbing, which now to this day, I desperately don't want to fucking do any of that, but I know how. What else? We had a meager, life. My mom worked 2 jobs trying to support us after he left, and it wasn't easy for her, So we all had to do the whole, like, we pitched in, we cleaned the house, we did all the things that we could do, and just whenever we could, we'd do the things that we wanted to do. Now I was one of those kids that never really knew what he wanted to do, and I still don't. But I have found happiness in creation. God, my brain is just gone. It's actually firing a lot faster than my mouth can flap off words. But yeah, I find happiness and joy when I'm creating something. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be photography. It could be anything. You know, I do enjoy editing and shooting video. It's fun, in small doses. I don't want to shoot hours of footage. I don't think I'll ever want to be a movie director. However, how cool would that be to have your name up on the big screen, knowing that you made something cool? I don't know. I mean, I fancied that for a little while. I wanted to be a short film. You know, I wanted to do mini documentaries. I wanted to do full documentaries. And I don't know if it was just me, being lazy or what. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Oh, I'm getting flickered real bad right there. Right. Yeah, right on this little doodad. It's all right. But see, I notice shit like that, and it bugs me. It could be my water. No, it's not. Sorry, not sorry. Gremlins, got to get rid of them. But yeah, that'd be cool. But I'm not interested really right now in doing that. What I'm more interested in doing right now is just kind of protecting my mental health. But where was I? I don't know. I had all these thoughts earlier today that I wanted to talk about my time being a child and growing up, and I mean, and I could go through a lot of things. What's funny is I used to. Here's one. Here's a little story. I used to skateboard. I'll never forget the first skateboard that I got. I forgot the name of it. It was an Executioner. And if you're old like I am, you'll know that that's like you would have gotten that from Walmart in a box. And it had the tail on it had this big old fat rubber slide on the end of it, and it was all big and wide, and it was just horrible. It was a poor attempt at them trying to be cool, but we thought that we were just the coolest thing in the world. And I say we, I'm talking about my lifetime buddy that I've known since I was able to walk, pretty much. I guess I don't remember that, but apparently when I was old enough to walk and I was, but like my mom, not that, but I was able to talk. I was able to talk. It wasn't like a freaking toddler just in diapers still. I was out of diapers and I was able to talk, so I had to have been like what, 3, 4 years old, and maybe 5. But still, could you imagine sending your 5-year-old 5 houses down the block in this day and age? No, you couldn't. You couldn't even fathom it. But it was something that my mom did, and I went down there and knocked on the door, and I said, "Can you come out and play?" And he was my best friend from there on. We were inseparable, and until like girls in high school and all that shit. But I still talk to him to this day. He's still a good buddy of mine. But where was I? Oh yeah, we didn't know how to stand up on the skateboards. So what did we do? We knee boarded. We'd like put one knee on the grip tape and then kick the other one out like we're kicking, like I don't know. Like you've seen those videos of dogs skateboarding? Yeah, we kind of look like that. But what's fun about that is that the fact that sometimes your foot gets stuck and you drag your knee and it would just scratch and scrape your whole. So I had 2 bloody knees like constantly. But I tried that. My mom she tried to put me in soccer. She tried to put me in baseball or t-ball or whatever. All kinds of sports she tried to put me into. I was not into it, man, at all. I fucking hated sports. My whole life, I never wanted to deal with anything with sports, probably because there's so many people. And I mean, I'm just now realizing that I've been antisocial my entire life. I've been a closet shut-in my entire life and just didn't know it. But yeah, I did take karate for a while, right up until I shit my pants. That's a real thing. It happens to people, okay? This is me being transparent with you. And at that moment in time, my white karate gi was transparent to that mess. However, no one saw it, and none of that. I mean, I was in the bathroom. We're not going to get into shit talk, but it was pretty aggressive, but I had to be ninja like, and took care of my stuff and cleaned everything up and did all my stuff and left. But yeah, and then I pretty much quit karate after that. I couldn't bring it in myself to go back, because one never knows. Let's see what else. I don't know, man. Once I got into like not elementary school, I was in 7th grade. I had to go into a magnet program. We went to Matthew Gilbert, and that was an interesting experience for sure. I learned how to sell gum, Fortune Bubble to be exact. If you're ever in a place where they have like a little bodega or whatever, and you'll know what I'm talking about, but I doubt that they make it anymore. This shit was probably filled with fucking asbestos or something. Like, I can't imagine what was in Fortune Bubble, but it tasted like shit. But it had a little fortune inside the wrapper, and they were like penny candies. You could get one piece of bubble gum for like a penny. So I would take a handful of pennies and go buy a bunch of pieces of gum, put them in a little bag, and they had these the giant pixie sticks, not those little shits like this, but them giant ones. So I would buy 3 or 4 of those giant ones, slide them down in my backpack. And I think those were like 50 cents. But I was a little entrepreneur in 7th grade. I took those Fortune Bubbles, I took those pixie sticks, and I sold them. So I bought them for a penny. I sold them for a nickel. Okay? So already I quadrupled my money. And the giant pixie sticks, I think I sold them for $1.50. And they were like 50 cents each. So I was making some good money as a child, but again, those were the days you didn't really have to worry about shit getting all fucked up. Oh, this is my photography ball. I bought a few of these for some buddies of mine that actually are on a couple podcasts. Cy and Marcus, shout out. Marcus is his name is Marcus Cadell. I want to say it's Hollywood Mac on Instagram. Man, go check his stuff out. He's been doing a lot of videos for like local rap artists and whatnot, but he does great work. Good camera work, good After Effects. He does all the fun stuff that I don't do. And Cy, he's out there just straight banging as a photographer. Just crushing it. And I was going to try and have them to be permanent hosts with me on the show, but I can tell you that, like, having a partner in crime is very difficult. And that brings me to the Beauty and the Beard. So I've always done better when I have someone to bounce off of. I feel like I do better. There's not as many dramatic pauses, although, it's all in the delivery. So sometimes you have to just take a second and collect your thoughts, and then you can get right back into the damn thing. But I have been having the first podcast that I did with Jennifer here on this podcast was super fun. She's such a nice person, and she said, it was her idea. So I said, all right, dope, let's do it. And so, yeah, we're going to be bringing you a Beauty and the Beard podcast like once a month. I think the next one, we said was the 13th. It's going to be on a Wednesday. So I think I want to say December 13th. I tried to get her to come over here tonight, but, just so I'm not talking to myself. But, yeah, there's no one in the live right now, so that's fine. That makes it really easy. I don't have to sweat and worry about anybody fucking with me live. But yeah, so Jennifer and I will be, and we've been talking about starting a separate podcast page, a Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, all the things, because we want it to be a separate entity. Now, I have been sort of not been very helpful in that endeavor, which I'm not happy about. So I do want to put more effort into that. I love podcasting. If I could do nothing but podcast all day long, that's what I'd do. Yeah. Pretty sure that's all I'd do. But I mean, and I would literally do them every day. I would do a fucking podcast every single day. And I mean, multiples, not just one. But that's the thing. We got to have money. Um, I was reading something about universal basic income, which is I guess it is a socialistic thing or something, but I don't know how to feel about it. But the argument is that if you give people a stipend every month, that helps ease the pain of cost of living, that they will then pursue talents and things that they want to do, that they've always wanted to do, maybe travel or whatever it is. And that's the thought. But I'm like, okay, we could do that, but I'm going to still have to work. And if you're going to give me, instead of giving me a stipend of $1,000, why don't we just not take so much damn money out of the fucking checks that we make? That'd be like the easiest. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to add up to $1,000, but that's $1,000 a month. So it may actually add up to $1,000 a month. All the taxes and bullshit that comes out of your check. Like, come on, man. Let's work smarter, not harder. But again, I don't really have a bone in that fight. I don't know much about it. The way I think about it when I think about something like that is from the standpoint of an artist. Man, it would be fantastic if I didn't have to worry so much about things, and if I got a little extra or whatever every month, I could use it. It would definitely help. And I could maybe get a job closer to home, and I would be just fine. I wouldn't be worried about that. And so then I wouldn't be driving to work all over the place. Ultimately, I would feel like I would have enough time to think even about really ramping up my photography business or getting back into shooting photos. I go through these lulls, and here we go, off on an ADHD fueled rant. Let me started with universal basic healthcare, and now I'm going down this rabbit hole. I go through these lulls where I'm not really happy with what I'm producing. And I mean, aside from this, I love this. This is the best thing ever. I literally think about this every night. But maybe I overthink things or what have you. I don't really know about that, like what causes it. I don't understand that. But what I do know is that once I fall into this lull, it takes me a while to get back out. It's not one of those things where I can just pick my camera up. And when I was at Collab the last time, I had my camera out and somebody said, "Are you shooting?" And I said, "I didn't really want to shoot, but I feel like I have to. I feel like it's something I should do." And when I think that might have been the first time I actually vocalized how I feel about that. And when I did, and I heard those words coming out of my mouth, I was just like, wow. Yeah, I didn't want to shoot. So I went and put my camera away, and I just hung out until I had to leave. I modeled a little bit. But yeah, I've never wanted to, wait, no, that's not the right words. When I fall into this lull, it takes me a long time to get out. That's the right words. And I have to start slowly back in. I with landscapes and animals and macro photography, which I love. I don't know why. Just it making small things look big is really cool to me. But so I go through that, and then once I get my creative juices flowing back again, then I'll like start hitting people up for shoots and whatnot. Now I don't like that side of me, and I don't really much care for it, but it is part of me. So what do I do about it? Do I just overlook it and just go, just reach out to somebody? And that's what I'm thinking. That's what I probably need to do, is just go ahead, set something up, and just start. And then I get into this whole philosophical debate with myself about, should I be charging money? Should I just be doing it? When I charge money, I'm not happy. I don't want to charge money right now. I just, there's just things that tickle my pickle. No, that just give me the ick, really. So I try not to do that. All right. I'm almost at an hour now, guys, and there's no one in the live to ask questions. And I don't think that anybody. Let's see. I don't think anyone else asked any more questions on the Instagram. Wow, that's weak sauce, guys. Anyways, so with that being said, ladies and gents, I do appreciate if you've made it this long listening to the audio or watching the old YouTube channel. I want to say thank you. And check back in next week. I should have a guest, or maybe not. I don't know if I'm going to have a guest next week or not. I may take a break. Probably should have took a break today because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So, but I just don't know how to I don't know how to quit you. Just kidding. But I love you guys, and literally, I hope you have the best day. Don't eat too much. Tryptophan is not going to make you fall asleep. You're just falling asleep because you're fucking tired from working all week. That's it. If you want to know anything more about me, hit me up on the Instagram at the Graybeard Podcast, at Graybeard Photo Co. Simple, easy. They're both the same, and I try to make it as easy as possible. Hit me up if you want to shoot with me. Hit me up. We'll see if you give me an idea that really sparks my interest. Maybe it'll be something that we'll get rolling. But outside of that, guys, I don't have anything else. Subscribe, share, like, do all the things that everybody loves to do here in 2023. It's about to be 2024. I love you. See ya.